Bring it around later.
Well, we'll see what homework was done here for game 2. We don't want to show anything in game 1. We did say the champion pools would be pushed quite far into maybe 3rd and 4th picks. We'll see how it happens in this one. Tom Kench as well as Nidalee still getting that pick banned. We'll see what they have from the side of Cloud9. What do they want to take away? Victor, beautiful choice. The Syndra as well. What are you going to file out with?
Speed here from Samsung. They're insta-banning, insta-picking, leaving very little time for C9 to think.
Exactly.
It's a minor thing, and most teams have their stuff prepared, but the extra 20-30 seconds that you can discuss a pick when it's hovered, that's what matters. People don't really look at it, but when you're on that stage, any more time you can get to react to pick and ban is obviously beneficial, and that's why C9 is running all the way to like 3-4 seconds left.
And this game is very important for Cloud9. There has been a slight blue side advantage, and it's now their turn to make the changes, right? Samsung had a pretty clear victory with no big weaknesses across the map. So the ball right now is definitely in Cloud9's court here to make the first change.
Kennen makes it through the pick and ban phase. What is Cloud9 going to try to snag first with that Jhin on the hover?
And this could be exactly what Meteos was talking about just now. The best of 5 pick ban adaptation, the in-game adaptation, getting a feel for the opposing team is always better than just doing VOD review.
Yeah, I mean, but that being said, we just did VOD review, and that's what we came up with. I already did. Here they are.
What we're saying is,
it's hovering it.
Put Kobe in code.
They're just hovering though. Okay.
Jhin will be that first pickup. No hesitation once again from Samsung Galaxy. Pick 1-2. Kennen, Karma. Now onto the side of Cloud9.
Yeah, so we're seeing priority here. Kennen over the Rumble. CuVee saying that's definitely his champ to go to. You know, lane pressure all in. Good flying teleports as well.
Exactly. Kennen's been huge in this tournament for the flank teleports, the flash engages, and because it is also good into Rumble. So he's already kind of daring Impact to go that way, and I'd like to see Impact and Cloud9 switch it up a little bit here. Kennen is actually pretty squishy and can be focused, but that would require, you know, really focused jungle attention.
And the goal of the draft right now, gone are the days where you get the massive outpick that will get solo kills in lane, usually. It's all about pushing lanes that still scale well. That's what Samsung achieved last game in the draft. They had a pushing top lane eventually. Once they got past the breaking point. C9 had 2 pushing lanes, mid-top early, but they never play around their top lane triangle. So they couldn't really capitalize on that. And then later in the mid-game, Samsung Galaxy started pushing on both top and bot, and eventually on all 3 lanes, and that was the breaking point. So C9 desperately looking for some early pressure lanes, but then they need to work with Meteos in unison and use that push advantage to get vision in.
Exactly, and the other thing they're looking for are switching up and taking away those key picks. The last 2, or the 2 carries that Samsung just used, Jhin and Cassiopeia, both taken away now, and we mentioned how both of those champions are high priority for this Cloud9 squad, but now they're going to have to run into this play style that we've seen Samsung run before. They have a speed boost for the Skarner, they look for those mid-game picks, and it is a little bit slower style of winning, but it also has a lot of fallback play.
Yeah, we're also seeing the jungle tendencies reflected in the picks here. A RekSai, a Skarner, over the likes of an Elise early on. 2 junglers that like to farm. Just that the location of where they farm differs ever so slightly. Meteos goes for the few counter jungles in between. Very heavy on Scuttlecrabs. Ambition mostly farming his own jungle.
Now the other thing that Cloud9 need to look for here is something to answer this Kennen. Because they've seen the Kennen from the very beginning of the draft, and they've locked in these very low mobility backline carries here with the Jhin and the Cassiopeia that do have a lot of offensive potential, but there's not really an answer for Kennen flank. That flash thunderstorm coming in.
It could be the perfect tidal wave if you see him coming. But that's really risky to play. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Smoothie here. He's going away from the Alistar pick. No more short-range composition only. They're adding an element of poke here in this comp as well. Look what they can do. If C9 get the lead, they can group up at the tower, put the miasma down, and suddenly all this poke can hit. No gap closers, no flashes. That's the goal of the competition. Just need to track where they can get there.
Yeah, talking about offense, they've got 3 carries here. All lanes can carry for Cloud9, and it's going to be up to how well, obviously, they play in the 1v1, but also the jungler intervention. And Meteos has shown throughout the entire Worlds here that he does not go up to the top side of the map. Very curious, how Impact is going to fend off the Skarner-Kennen combo. If he does not get support, whether it just be vision, or something like that to ward out or find ambition, it could be very, very scary for a Jayce in that matchup.
Yeah, immediate Orianna and Sorel. It's just a good matchup into Cassiopeia. It's so hard for the Cassiopeia to break open that matchup, even with a kill lead. you still have the threat of getting all in at level 6 by that Orianna ulti. You will always have to flash it. And then if Samsung gets sieged on ever, they have the tools to deal with it though. Flash Skarner ulti, a line of trap zoning, the looming Orianna ball, and then it can flying teleport. A lot of answers that C9 need to track if they want to siege.
Definitely agree, and I do like the other adaptation Cloud9 have made with the Nami in the bottom lane to add that sustain, add the extra pressure there for the early stages so that, you know, they aren't constantly getting chunked out and they aren't constantly an opportunity for the enemy team to take advantage of.
Basically, CoreJJ, the only one, and Meteos, I should say, playing the champions they brought from game 1. So trying to switch things up here. Cloud9 obviously has taken blue side for this game. We'll see if the first picks matter. We're heading into game 2. Cloud9 trying to reset here and clear their minds. Remember to tweet at LoL Esports and tell us what makes your Worlds highlight reel worth the hashtag Worlds Big Plays. There's going to be plays all throughout Worlds, and we want to be able to remember them as they come and as they go. Crowd once again behind Cloud9 as they step onto the rift. We are heading into game 2 of this best of 5. The teams have swapped sides. The rosters have been shaken up with champions. And we'll see how it plays out in game 2.
Definitely a risky comp here for the underdogs Cloud9 with a lot of damage and the potential to snowball. But they have to, you know, get something going early here because Samsung, they have a lot of flash playmaking abilities. Skarner and Kennen can pose a very big threat to the back line.
Yeah, they're rolling the dice here. Could be rolling the top dice as well when Impact and CuVee go off against each other again, because that's a very snowbally matchup. In a Jayce matchup, if he dies once, this Kennen can continuously bully, but if Impact somehow gets ahead, he can swing that matchup too.
He got ahead! Ha!
It's over!
Always feels really bad as a Kennen when your opponent even gets a little bit of health. You can stun him all the time, but he'll be able to fight you back. So it's always good for Kennen to have to stay on top of that lane, as well as be as ferocious in his engages. That's a lot what Samsung is bringing to the table here, just jumping into your face. We'll see how Cloud9 reacts once we get to that point in the game. A little top-heavy set here as they just kind of hang out in the jungle, looking to pick up some gold.
And I wonder if Meteos is going to go for the wolf start, where you smite them early, and you basically leave the wolf sprite to kind of patrol your left side jungle, so make sure that Skarner doesn't come in and steal the early blue buff away, because then you can return at level 3 or 4, hand off the blue buff to your mid laner, and then swing that matchup into Jensen's favor. He definitely needs some help. Jungle presence, early lost chapter rush, maybe just the early blue buff, you know, anything that can help or get out sustain.
All right, good start there for the Samsung bottom lane. Their patience waiting in the side bush is rewarded.
Got that Soul Flare double tap.
These are the few levels where Jensen can still have a trade advantage, and he's really making use of them. So that's good for C9, playing towards his strengths early on. It's actually overextending by CoreJJ, could get punished there. Yeah,
but Cloud9 grouped up there. Both got hit with the AoE. Yeah. They also did not move up right behind the minion wave. You want to go to make sure that one of them is protecting you from skill shots. But Nami sustain in effect, as seen here.
Denying some minions on that first one. Crown taking quite a bit of damage here. It's Ghost and Flash. It's Ghost and Flash. They're not going to have the Ignite, and they go down to last hits with the auto attacks. Neither go down.
I love those moments where both mid laners have double summoners. They get down to 100 HP each. Nobody blows them because Jensen knows he's run out of mana. Here we go, though. First room.
You should have seen him.
This is big.
You should have seen him. He's trying to kind of bait it out now. He knows it's there with these steps.
But we got to go back to that trade there. Jensen was doing it so well. He was weaving auto attacks in between his E's overall, but then at the end, he went for the QE combo, ran out of mana. And that's exactly what Crown knew. He knows his matchup so well. Good pressure.
And when you watch those trades, you also, that's where you build up your psychological profile for your enemy, right? You say, oh, is this the guy, is he that crazy enough to always dodge forward? Is he always going to position in front of my ball? Yes, that is very often the case for Jensen. And he goes very aggressively for another trade here, pushing up the minion wave. See, Crown has to deal with all those last hits now under the turret, and Jensen going to be able to buy himself a recall.
All right, this is where Meteos could actually go top and also shadow the top lane, giving more space for Impact to keep doing what he's doing. He's winning so hard. This bot lane is evened out. Even on CS, if these creeps go down, it's completely even. So Sneaky and Smoothie have outpaced that early bad trade.
But if you watch the mini-map, so Cloud9 here, Meteos always going for the very small advantages. So he just takes over the Skarner icon there, the crystal, which is not a crystal with this skin. But doing that, yes, does give you a little bit of control as far as reducing the speed of Ambition's jungle. Gives away your position though in the process.
Yeah, the flourish hits the ground, but they still want to fight. CoreJJ throws the shield down, and they have to respect Karma's retaliation. Getting some good ebb and flows in as they make things happen here. Tycaller's blessing on to Sneaky, but looks like he's just farming out with this one.
And what prompted that is both junglers gave away their position by each taking over the crystal one after the other on top side. So both bottom lanes are very well aware that they're in the 2v2.
Props to both Impact and CuVee. CuVee farming well, Impact playing that Jayce very nicely, threading in his auto attacks as he flies in with the empowered ones. Focus on this bottom lane here. 30-29 as Sneaky is caught up in CS with a bit of pressure they put on Ruler and CoreJJ.
Yeah, but Ruler must know how to play against Nami. CoreJJ as well must have watched a lot of games from Wraith, the substitute support from Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah.
Nami aficionado, that's also why people expected him to start, because in the week 1, the top tier expected support pick was that Nami before Mata kind of showed the world that Alistar still existed.
And that's the thing, when you have a support that's at the same level or just around the same high level of play as your quote-unquote main, you can even practice against them. You don't have to just watch tape and watch VODs of the matchup. They can go into custom games and trade over and over again.
Oh, obvious team Matt coming in for Meteos. He can continue to farm his jungle quickly. See CuVee put a little bit of deep wardage in to see if they can start making some moves off the tells of Cloud9 once Meteos passes that. 43-41 here in the top lane. So far a different game, but it has not exploded here. We haven't seen somebody take the lead.
Yeah, and one of the big differences is, yes, the draft, but also Cloud9 not really trying to force plays anymore. They had a bunch of plays that were punished by Samsung, and they're not trying to get behind early again. So more farming, and you can see the farming focus. Meteos, early Tiamat here on the RekSai. He knows this is going to be about farming out the extra small camps. Tiamat really helps out with that clear.
Very sustained as well, just staying on the map.
Threads in another auto fight in the bot lane. CoreJJ goes down to about 200 HP.
He is.
As you can see, CuVee is still about 60% and okay in the top.
Yeah, finally top lane though. He's combining the counter jungling with pressure in the top lane. This is some part of the recipe that C9 was looking for, and now they can maybe lean on the advantage.
And that is also a possible play that could get turned around with CuVee now hitting 6 on the Kennen. And Skarner, Meteos knows that Skarner is trailing him because he was seen while counter jungling. Very, very risky there, and that is one of those ones that flashes before your eyes that could possibly end up in a double kill for the enemy.
There's no Karma in lane here. Look at CoreJJ on the minimap as well. Doesn't run straight down bot lane because he got an early base in. Despite the lane being even, you wonder why base so early. Well, you lose a couple CS bot, you gotta translate that into an advantage, so he goes for unpredictable rolling patterns.
Really, really good to point out there, because we talked about this a little bit before, but that 5 to 7 mark where your first excursion to try and get vision down, you see he upgrades the sight stone, brings a pink ward, Ambition is also trying to get vision at the same time. Actually, they're on different sides. Can be Meteos steal it?
It's a vision war!
There's no smite for Meteos, so it'd have to be a...
Tiamat prop? Oh, they're just fighting him.
Roam here from Impact.
Didn't seem like there was a call from CuVee. The Impact left lane either. What a chance for Cloud9 to pick up a kill there. Flash, though, taken from Ambition.
Big summoner down here on Ambition, loses the flash, but look at the jungle. 1 ward right here. Second, third down below, and the Crux. Complete information from Samsung. So they traded 10 CS in the bottom lane for a beneficial base timing on support.
Yeah.
Then CoreJJ picked up the side stone, and yeah, they were behind in timing-wise, but they got bot lane vision, which means by exclusion, they also have left side vision. They can track Meteos right now.
Exactly, and that's why I was so surprised that Ambition was split off from CoreJJ during that vision. They actually did the two-pronged vision invade. Meteos, though, does have the Raptor Smite, so he saw that one. They know it's warded, but they won't be able to clear it out.
Smoothie's
Risky
work
here.
coming into play. Smoothie puts one over the wall as the top lane try to put each other underneath the ground. CuVee and Impact going at it once again. Nobody taking each other down just yet, as Impact does have that Hex Drinker to keep himself safe.
And clearing wards in River as a support is a fine line between courage and stupidity. You gotta act confident. You gotta fake it till you make it. You gotta walk in as if you got backup. But if they know you don't have backup, you're toast.
But yeah, but you have to be very ready to turn around and run away quickly. Pink ward die though, over and over and over. All 3 of those pink wards that just were purchased and placed on the bottom side were all just cleared out.
Yeah.
That means that the vision Cloud9 actually left on the top side is the important vision that still stands. Meteos though walks over CuVee's defensive tri-bush ward.
And this might be an error in communication, whether they didn't track the wards, but even though this gank doesn't accomplish much, he's at least getting in the head. He's breaking the pattern of Meteos never goes top, and that's important. Because the next time Impact walks up, CuVee may hesitate for a second. It's like, why is this guy so aggressive? Is he alone? Or is the jungler here again? And those little things matter. Yeah. So even if the gank doesn't work out right now, it could get into CuVee's head, but he's proven to be very stable. It's doubtful, but there's a chance.
And they would need to do that in a different way. One of the things that I've been a little bit sad about at Worlds is I have not seen too many of the wraparound ganks where you come through the lane, through these lane rush.
Right.
And yes, at the top lane, you can ward your tri-bush over and over on red side, and that's, you expect there to be a ward there. But very, very few top laners will buy pink wards or extra wards for their lane brush, and you can sneak in there, especially if you have flash on RekSai. That could be a very easy route.
And those are the low percentage plays. You know, they don't always work out, but when they do, they give you big hits. But in searching for efficiency here and not wanting to get cross-match too often, it's so dangerous when it comes to that. I like this more of a play. Make constant push up the lanes here. This Nami pick paying off because there's control in the bot lane, cascades into the river. The vision is ready to test.
Ultimate down.
Pretty tanky so far with that Cinder Hulk. The inner flame just completely tearing through Smoothie there. Looks like they'll be able to get this one down though. The Soul Flare rather from Karma.
Shockwave threatened.
Both damage. Jensen's there. Ghost and Flash. Doesn't look like he's going to have to use either to get out of this, but there was a Flash from Sneaky as well on that play.
Yeah, the difference there between Jensen and Sneaky is that I believe they communicated that RekSai's, that Skarner's ultimate is down. It was actually Sneaky who was the one who took that the Skarner ultimate. However, he was the one to burn his Flash. He's scared of the follow-up there instead. Yeah.
Just being safe.
He was a little bit lower. He could get comboed down. Cassiopeia always has a threat, and Jensen still had some room before he had to flash. So I think C9 played that one perfect here. They didn't get afraid. Yeah. They let their AD carry get dragged away into the enemy team, and they calmly kept doing dragging right there. So for once on the same page, and that's a difference in these little plays.
The Nami tidal wave for disengage plus the Nami heal there gives them the confidence to get out, and Cloud9 get the Drake with only burning Sneaky's flash.
Now look at the build here. CuVee opting into early aggression here. Magic Pen boots after a single item. This could catch Impact off guard, but because he CS so well early, he already has that Hexmaker and a Dirk.
Second Doran's Blade as well for a little bit of HP from these all-ins from Impact, as well as the CS a bit better under that turret. Coming up on 12 minutes, a much more even game we have here in Game 2, I think, as well. Cloud9 is not allowing themselves to fall prey to little mistakes.
Yeah, and fascinating for these team comps as well. They both want to group up for different reasons here. Another duel between Impact and CuVee. Knock, knock.
Oh, here come the junglers as well. This time they smell blood, and CuVee is very low.
Yeah, Meteos checking for a camp. If he can cancel that back, that would be big. Loving this topside pressure from C9.
Yeah, exactly. Those pink wards have stayed in the topside river for Cloud9 for over 5 minutes here, and it's been repeat returns here from Meteos. Now, they also have defensive vision. They'll see Ambition.
Oh, use this gate. That's dangerous.
Lightning rush is there.
Early.
That's his speed. He is going to have to flash that one, but they'll push him all the way out of this one. CuVee picking up the top minions.
Really important that he flashed early there. Definitely the applause for Impact is deserved, but now very scared up there. As we talked about, the Kennen plus Skarner, so much gank pressure.
And it shows you the danger of going for that poke in lane when you don't exactly know what a jungler is, because you're forced to use your defensive spell, which is the gate for the speed boost, but you place it in front of you.
Yeah. And on top of that, as we are looking now towards the mid game and how these 5-on-5 fights are going to play out, remember that Cloud9 are running this high pressure, high damage backline, but Samsung have the engage advantage with the Kennen and the Skarner having their flashes.
Yeah, it's a poke siege comp, just like you said, Colby, that wants to chip away from distance first. If they run head on, of course Samsung Galaxy is going to win. They put the Skarner ulti on one target. Once the defense comes in, instant Orianna ulti and it's over. But if they can use the Deadly Flourish and they can use some of that poke from Impact in the top lane, suddenly these Galaxy members will drop low enough and then C9 can strike. So it's very interesting juxtaposition. Both these teams like fighting around objectives, but they have a different approach. It's shotgun all in from Samsung, and it's slow, steady poke down approach from C9.
It's been a very different approach for both teams here. First blood in our last game was 6-12. We've already doubled that time, and nobody's fallen yet on the map, but they have come very, very close in these attempts.
Yeah, at Samsung Galaxy in week 2, we're averaging 4.5 kills by 15 minutes. Right now they have 0. Good sidestep from Ruler. So this is kind of breaking their early game pattern, and C9 for once, they're staying even. So definitely a much different game.
And I think it's an intelligent adaptation from Cloud9 because, here we go mid lane though. Double summoners available for Jensen. Mind game.
Yeah. You don't want to flash too early because you don't want to flash for nothing. We don't want to flash too late because then you're dead.
Yeah.
Perfect. Basically an audio play. You're listening for that sound.
Well, there is a second door here, and door number 2 involves Ghost, and I do encourage ghosting early.
Ooh, that's definitely a killable position for Impact. CuVee knows he cannot stay any longer. Just a quick switch to the hammer, and that would have been CuVee down.
Yeah, that was one of those plays. Don't try them at home. Go for the early ghost, but Impact again. Look how he's leaning on that advantage because now he has the assistance of Meteos. And it's all because of the Nami pick, kind of, because bot lane is fine on its own, sustained pressure, which means Meteos no longer has to care about bot lane. He can switch his focus to mid and top, play the top lane triangle, and Impact, he can relentlessly keep pushing. Last game he was pushing early, but he got afraid. He got pushed back in lane.
Exactly. A Caitlyn Karma, while it's oppressive and pokes heavy and is annoying to lane against, does not have that same kill pressure. Does not have the ability to punish you for mispositioning like that. And Sneaky and Smoothie just fine on their own down bottom. Meanwhile, Impact getting that CS lead in this game as well. But remember, as we transition to the team fight phase, Kennen has a very high impact as far as all in, especially if Flash is available. Proto Belt on the way as well.
Yeah, that's the difference. Well, going for the instant Proto Belt rush here, Magic Pen boots. Jensen doing is formidable in this mid lane though. He's joined an objective, contested it, didn't have to flash out. He dodged the gank, fading flash for flash against the Skarner. And since the second flash from Ambition that's been burned, he's used one ultimate in the game. All have been for naught.
Also remember, the flash that Sneaky blew last time they took the Drake is back up right now. Cloud9 went unpunished for that summoner spell.
There's a hit. Tidal Wave goes down. They're still on Sneaky. They throw his exhaust in, and Smoothie tries to get in the way, say, attack me, not my AD, and they come out worse for the wear on that one.
Yeah, I think that's one thing you can criticize.
Well, actually not.
And 4, we need to see what Ambition does here.
One thing,
pointing.
well, yeah, see, so one thing about, people always talk about setting up for Drakes, and Drake is about to spawn 15 seconds, everybody be here. The other thing about setting up for Drake is sending your jungler down there, trying to pressure one of those lanes to force a recall at a suboptimal,
Could be collapse here on Ambition if he gets bubbled.
Everything was just used by Smoothie. They let him pass this time.
But yeah, back to the point, as they continue to fight over Drake. Recall times and staggering those recall times around the objectives can sometimes be just as important.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see if Ambition can contest here. He has his AD carry and support in the jungle, but Cloud9 don't necessarily know that. That's a really good zoning miasma here too.
Top laner as well. Impact sitting in the bush, ready for a TP if it needs to come in. They play it safe. And Cloud9 grabs Dragon number 2.
And despite having the unfavorable matchup in the mid lane, Crown is not getting access to the river sooner than Jensen. Jensen's been there for the first time every single time, much faster here, despite playing in a matchup deficit.
Impact playing this top lane so well. Fog of War is Jayce's friend. He always has that pink ward below him and always a ward in the top to know if he can get CuVee on either side of the wave with a shock blast, and he has been chipping away when he has time between farming. Ward clearing now for Samsung Galaxy. They've been all over Cloud9's pink wards as soon as they come out.
Yeah, the battle over vision in River has been very tense this game. Meanwhile, in the top lane that you're talking about as well, with Impact and CuVee, and talking about backing up and looking for those teleports, there is a pretty big opportunity cost to teleporting away from a Jayce lane. Because Jayce can very quickly melt towers. The first turret gold is still on the map here, so if there's a huge fight bottom lane, there's...
You were saying? Ruler flashes over the tidal wave! He goes for a surf, and CoreJJ still getting the shots in. Smoothie with 350 health lives on that one with just about 100 under his belt. Impact forced to go back as he's not ready for Ambition and CuVee together.
Yeah, a lot happened in these last 2 minutes right here. again, this is the time of the game where Samsung Galaxy usually ramps it up.
15 to 20.
This pink ward survived again because Meteos was shadowing the lane. He was there to protect that, which means Impact can keep playing aggressively, and they're going for that first gold turret that Kobe was talking about because it was a race. They had to commit because C9 made a misplay in the bottom lane. They missed some spells, and they still decided to fight on. And they end up dying. Beautiful flash from Rule there through the tidal wave.
Definitely a huge point of power for Samsung, this bottom lane. That was not the side of the map that was talked up so much. You know, Ruler, one of the new guys on the block, and CoreJJ, you know, swapping roles, going back to Korea, coming in.
Yeah.
And such a huge part of their run to get to Worlds.
And that bot lane play, see, it all stems like,
again.
it goes back to the previous trade where they engage on the support far too often and getting not so beneficial trades for C9. So they shifted their mentality, said like, we need to stop trading on support. So they went ham to get the Caitlyn, but they missed everything. And if a Caitlyn can side tap the bubble, there's so much punish, especially when the Karma can then land the AoE in very predictable fashion here. Cloud9 overreaching, honestly.
Yeah, we return to this theme of Samsung being very good on the defensive and being very quick to throw counter punches. As soon as Cloud9, that was a Cloud9 offensive play in the bottom lane. They went for the bubble. They moved up with the heal to try and get positioning. But Samsung cut off the retreat. They lay down the trap right behind Sneaky. He walks onto it, and they secure their kill 2 versus 2.
Mid lane onto Crown. Oh, Cloud9 says king me real quick.
And that
Crown
can
goes
move
down.
That can move right into mid pressure here. Cloud9 have a ton of extra damage in top and mid. Gonna try and burn down the turret.
And you can see exactly what happened there. Crown died with both Ghost and Flash up because it was a beautiful miasma. Look at Meteos' Flash. It's down. You can only see what happened. It was Ghost W from the Cassio, Flash knockup from Meteos, and suddenly Crown, yes, he has his ulti, but he couldn't even get it off in time. Completely caught off guard. And that's mainly because if you look at the left side, pink ward vision. Vision control in the river is paramount to control of the map.
Yeah. Incredible Cloud9 completely wiping game 1 out of their minds, coming in even stronger in game 2 and playing proactive enough to get themselves first turrets and kills under their belt. Jensen now sits pretty in mid lane. That Abyssal Scepter is complete. He's got a little extra money as he goes towards his Rylai's.
And just to point out how stark the contrast is, let's see this again, actually. With this play here, yeah.
Oh, sneaky.
So beautiful. Cloud9 right now are even and slightly ahead of Samsung Galaxy. Samsung Galaxy in their last 3 games, which were all wins, was up at least 8,000. They were on average 8,300 up and 20 minutes. Right now, they're bang on even, so this is a whole different world for them now.
And something important in that play as well is it kind of speaks to the mentality of Meteos in the front line here. Even though they're playing a more cautious game and they don't want to force as many of those super early game plays that are, you know, fairly low percentage, he still has to have the killer instinct to flash it for the knockups when you see something like that. You know, an opportunity so clear as that, and that is important to know that Cloud9 still have that after that huge loss in the first game.
Yeah, and honestly, it's great to see that he went for the play despite a flash knockup in the last game, honestly costing them the game. Not because he failed, but there was lack of synergy. This time the W from Jhin was perfectly timed.
Meteos also,
yeah,
killer
Titanic
instinct.
Hydra. Very killer. It's like they want to put the pain down. Cinder Hulk into a bit of good damage for himself. We'll see how they continue to use that. Placing their wards forward a little bit more. Something Cloud9 lacks in a lot of cases, and they play around too much fog of war, but here they are trying to light up the map.
And they're setting up around this dragon so early. Vision control is always there. They're punishing Samsung Galaxy from entering, because look, it's 2 Ocean Drakes. They're not the best for C9, but denying them of Samsung Galaxy is a big hit because Samsung's playing as the Pokemon. They would have loved to have these Ocean Drakes.
A very good point. Wards continue to be moved forward. Cloud9 looking at a 30-second Infernal Drake to get a buff on their damage.
Yeah, that is going to be huge because anytime you talk about a very high damage backline, a 3-carry team.
4 carries.
4 carry team, but well, yeah, Titanic.
That's true.
So it's not going to. Okay, 4 carry team. There you go. The Infernal Drakes are that much more important, and it is spawning now. Also, look at how the vision is creeping up into Samsung's jungle. This might be the point where Samsung call it though. Yeah. They have Flash on their engaged champions, and they're moving in.
They're moving in, but they can't grab the tank, and the Impact moved down because he doesn't want to teleport in. He's a Jayce. He wants to poke before the setup. Remember, the C9 is a poke composition. They do not want to hard engage. They want to keep moving Samsung Galaxy left and right, whittle them down.
That's why it's so important to push these waves up, because every time you push up the wave, you buy 5 seconds. Kennen's trying to clear in the mid lane, so Cloud9 move in and get vision control.
And we can see the combo right there. It's tag into Jhin W, into Miasma, into more poke, re-engage, or disengage product. That's what they're running here. You gotta be so wary of the hard engage from Samsung. This teamfight could be over in simply 3 or 4 seconds if Samsung pull the trigger.
The only one, oh, beautiful ball movement over by Jensen. Causes the dragon to have to be fought. C9 says we'll take the fight as well that follows after. That's gonna be, no, that's Ambition getting it. Looking like it was a RekSai, but it's Skarner. Meteos has to get out of this fight. Still waiting for Ambition's flash engage. Meteos is going to be safe. The trap does not allow a headshot to come through from Ruler.
I was so ready for the flash headshot from Ruler. There's still heal.
Yeah.
But I like the commitment. C9 were at least in unison right there. They had communication that multiple parts worked together to stop that dragon, and they moved in. Sure, it was a missed smite, but thematically, it was a good play.
Yeah, definitely going in to try and force that and zoning off Samsung. But Samsung do get the important Infernal Drake there for themselves, and denying it from Cloud9.
And that was Crown moving the ball. I'm sitting in last game with Jensen on Orianna. My mistake. So 39.7 to 39.5, but a 30 CS lead here for Impact in the top lane, and he has been giving CuVee hell. We actually thought to see Ambition and CuVee making work up there. The Impact going back to top die.
Yeah.
Trying to get those kills.
Good rotation here too. Suddenly Caitlyn top, looking for that turret after the long lane was established earlier. Smoothie can't really do much. There's more people coming though, so they want to be careful. But look at Ruler, not afraid. But definitely want to go back to that smite steal from Ambition. He failed He traded 2 flashes. His first ulti didn't stick. He's 0-0-0 on the Skarner at 25 minutes, but he still stayed super calm. Didn't smite early. Wait for the perfect smite.
Yeah, it's almost, it brings up this question in my mind because he has not had a really impactful gank. Is that a reason why Cloud9 will delay their QSSs and nobody is really trying to get an early QSS here? The other thing is that Cloud9 actually have so many good targets for Skarner, so unless you all buy QSSs, then it's really an all or nothing thing because there's so many carries to choose from.
It's almost like a prisoner's dilemma just for QSSs. Everybody's got to work together toward the same goal. If one guy cracks, it's an inefficient strategy.
We'll see. Maybe they got a bunch of coupons. They'll all buy QSS at the same time, and then Samsung will really...
The Costco of QSS.
No engaged target.
Buy them in bulk.
Honestly, I really would prefer mass Mercury treads because hear me out on the extra stuns that are going to be coming from Kennen, and those are going to be hitting everyone anyways.
Tenacity is that very often overlooked. It's such an invisible mechanic, but you definitely feel it when Kennen is waltzing.
Oh, teleport from Samsung.
Onto Ambition, very, very tanky. Flashes are being used here. Tidal Wave flashed out by Ambition.
Ooh.
Slicing Maelstrom on 3 members. The shockwave from Crown, and Cloud9 is melting. Impact to the skies and to the back line as he tries to finish Ambition, but it's like he's hitting brick walls left and right. Samsung stay up as 5, and Smoothie is the only one standing for Cloud9.
And that is going to be the Baron. We set it up so long. The all-in from some of the Samsung champion composition here. They pull it off, teleport in behind, right onto Sneaky, and that is an early Baron.
That was honestly the dream. When we were talking about how these fights could be over in simply 3 seconds, this is exactly it. What a beautiful ward teleport onto Sneaky, flash WR from CuVee. Remember, Kennen doesn't need to tag people anymore with his ulti. As long as they're in range, the W will apply. Right from the other side. This is the dream fight for Samsung Galaxy. This is what they were looking for so long. They never engaged unless they found the opportunity, and they seize it immediately. And that must be such a big blow here for C9.
And that was honestly one of the first times that Samsung have even had wards in that quadrant of the jungle. Cloud9 kept pink wards up in the river for a very long time.
Right.
But Samsung, they immediately get those wards in, and then they attack the river as the carries are left alone.
Quickly, 4,000 gold put into the bank account of Samsung Galaxy. 2 kills to Crown there, 2 for Ruler now.
This gives them so much more freedom as well. They're playing against the poke comp. Not only do they have Baron, which means they can hide in the creeps no longer die to the poke, the wave killer is useless. They're up 4,000 or 5,000 gold, which means the poke just doesn't hurt that much.
And with their games obviously being the shortest, it's very impressive that Samsung has actually only conceded one dragon throughout, or I'm sorry, one Baron throughout all of Worlds. So they'll probably make the next Barons, if it goes long enough, theirs in this game and push even harder. Impact from the side, can't even get the shock blast on, just the blast. And it looks like they're gonna try to back off after it takes just about the team to start clearing these waves.
That's the other thing, it is very difficult to push on a team like Cloud9 are packing with so much extra wave clearing damage here. But yeah, just look at the drop off there, the one play, the all-in play when you are the team that does have that hard engage. Here they come though, looking for the engage again.
No flash,
Just
they use
speed up.
movement speed steroids here, just to zone. Get him off the tower. You look at how far forward those traps are from Ruler, and then the simple rotation top here. This is what Samsung's looking for. Isolate objectives, our turrets, get them more gold boost off the back of that play. Baron power play already at 4.3k.
And it's important for Cloud9 not to overextend trying to defend these secondary turrets, because the gold kind of rubber bands when the team with Baron, it's going to shoot up here as they push down turret after turret after turret. Cloud9 just need to stabilize at their inhibitor turrets. Those are much easier to defend and try and farm off the lanes.
And this is a Baron taken after a one fight. The Baron power play starts once the Baron is taken. This is a 5,000 gold swing
In addition
to what was there after the Baron, after they won a fight. So this essentially is a 7,000 gold play in total for Samsung, just off one good teleport.
We saw that graph, that was just a huge cliff.
The abyss.
We'll see if they can get themselves out of it. Clouds fly high in this game. Impact still with the good few items to make a hit on Samsung Galaxy. If they can find the poke as Samsung rotates left to right. Unfortunately, Cloud9 has been pushed back almost to the stairs of their base, so they're only making small excursions here out into their jungle, setting wards and then backing up. Some of these wards they can't even defend still, and now it's to the bottom lane for Samsung Galaxy.
10 seconds remain. No more creep buffs, so it's going to be hard to siege because they are running into a poke comp. C9 also got that dragon, so that's triple ocean for them. Did they steal it?
Oh, they just walk out. Not too much of an engage as well from the poke team. They were just looking to get a nice catch on somebody if possible. And the game number one ended just about 3 minutes ago. This one going to go much longer than that as Cloud9 now put on their engage with a tidal wave. The curtain call comes out. That's Azania's and ultimate by CuVee, pretty much just zoning Cloud9 off any more engage. We see Meteos go down. He's the front line. That's a lot of squishy health bars, and I don't think Samsung will stop on this engage. Crown is tanking. One shield, the second command protect, but it's not enough as Jensen comes through with the perfect fangs to take 2 down.
Both teams a bit over-aggressive there as Cloud9 go for the engage, get turned around on, but then Samsung follow under the turret and Cloud9 gets some redemption kills, actually.
Yeah, the patience from Jensen at the end there flashes out early because he got dragged into that fight by Ambition. The ball placement wasn't perfect. The command attack slightly missed, so they placed the ultimate or the ball router on Ambition, and he was so close to dragging multiple people in there. Only tagged one, and then they kept chasing, even though the cooldowns had already
We'll see it here one more time.
Here it is.
He gets grabbed very early. Once this miasma fades out, Ambition's looking for the re-engage of Jensen, drags him in. But the focus isn't there. Jensen flashed out, mostly due to the zoning from Meteos. Kennen ulti only on one target too, so this is all in all a good fight. Look at how close this is. The Orianna ulti as well.
Good guy Impact taking that ace in the hole as well for Jensen.
And then since CuVee doesn't have Sonya's or his ultimate there, very ill-advised tower dive for him and Crown to both go down because of that misstep. That could have been a push all the way into the base if Samsung did not mess that up.
Definitely so.
See the setup for Sneaky there with the curtain call and the follow-up from the rest of the team. Cloud9 still putting up a fight at the front door.
It's really weird. C9 need to get a fight where they poke enough so they can use curtain call early, or poke enough, go for a very short fight, and then hunt people down as they run away with the curtain call. Sneaky looking for a position to carry this game here, but at all times and at all costs, C9 need to not repeat what happened earlier. They need to avoid the teleport Kennen flank.
And that's so difficult, you know, moving forward. As the map is now bigger and bigger with all of the Cloud9 turrets going down, there's so many areas that they have to worry about wards being in for the TP flanks of CuVee, for the flash engages of Kennen. And I really need to see the Cloud9 backline actually spread out so that if one of them gets caught with a Kennen ultimate, that's not bad for them. But if all 3 of them are taking that, and that's going to be the way the team fight crumbles. Oh, impact though.
This played out very differently
Run.
a few minutes ago. CuVee's gonna flash forward. Ooh, hits the captive audience. Deadly flourish. Keeps him stuck in line as well. That's flash for a flash.
Woo. Everybody gets out there.
Yeah, Ambition noticed he didn't have anybody behind him and said, all right, I'll come back to mid. We'll push the lane and set everything else up to make sure Baron is ours.
Yeah, we can follow Samsung Galaxy here. They push up mid first. They move into the enemy jungle. Look at the sweep from Ambition. He just wants to be aware of what vision is left. Gets his crystal.
Oh.
And then they deny some of the vision that's left in the Baron pit from C9. So a couple pink wards there. Suddenly, Samsung Galaxy with really good vision control.
Yeah, crucially, in that last 1 versus 1, where Impact flashed away, CuVee also burned his flash trying to follow. And that is a huge team fight tool. The flash on Impact, not nearly as important.
Enormous.
Right now, though, Samsung want to pull Cloud9 out into the open territory where they can collapse again.
But look, they know their Baron setup might not be perfect. They don't have the flash on CuVee. So while C9 desperately, or very calmly face-checked that area, they trade that for base timings. So C9, they're retaking the Baron area, but Samsung Galaxy is already in base shopping. There's no Baron rush available from C9 because they got to move up.
Yeah, currently Cloud9 just want to, keep enough vision around that they don't give away the Baron, without a little bit of pressure. But they also are looking to farm for later in the game. They're trying to make up this gold deficit because right now Samsung have a lot of extra power.
Yeah. I love the protection that Ambition is getting. He's spearing heading into the jungle. C9 desperately trying to keep it out. They don't want vision in their jungle, but now mid lane is kind of exposed. So Galaxy's going to herd the cattle. Move him away. The zone from Ambition is so big. He has that acceleration in him with the Karma Shield. And suddenly, mid lane is exposed.
And watch where the snipers of Cloud9 are going for. Poke onto CuVee is the most important. Kennen doesn't get health back.
Using the shield from Karma and from Orianna like a Bloodthirster shield. You see Ruler getting in, already prepping shots on the turret. Smoothie could find himself going down. Ooh, no teammate to get in range, but he's going to be forced back to the base. This gives Samsung time to play.
And it gives them access to mid again, so instead of going the long route, they can now path into the Baron here. Ooh. They just simply walked up and took a base turret here. They traded, they faked out the Baron versions, and then they just ran straight down mid.
Yeah. Cloud9 would love to pick up these 2 big minion waves on the side lanes, and it's up to Samsung here to choose between trying to pressure and make them come away from those minions, or going back for those recalls now that they just got chunked out after that fight. They are giving up the map, and Cloud9 trying to collect some of the money.
Yeah, they love trading minor pressure advantages for bases here. A lot of recalls coming out.
And crucially, before they did go for the recalls, Samsung actually cleared out a bunch of the Cloud9 vision. So now it's this give and take where Cloud9 trying to sneak in, get the Scuttle Crab. This is a very important Scuttle Crab Meteos is after.
Especially since there's not that many guys that can jump over the wall. If you're playing against a team that can actually jump into the Baron pit from behind, it's a little dangerous, but this is the massive value Scuttle Crab.
Ambition now with his Guardian Angel up as well. Meteos already has his, but that just makes Ambition that much more of a beast.
Because Impact is in the bot lane. They just want to bait him in, force him for a decision. They have to come through traps and the zone from an Orianna ball here. Look at how fast this Baron's dropping.
There's a TP coming in. It's a little far behind. Cloud9's going to try to take the fight. Meteos is in by himself. That was they flash in as well. Guardian Angel comes up. He might be able to tunnel down. And he's not even going to be able to tunnel backwards out of the pit. That means they're pinging now from Samsung Galaxy on that mid lane. But we'll see how they go.
That's such a risky play, and considering Meteos also has Guardian Angel, you're giving up even more if you go for that flash steal, which is very low chance of success. But Cloud9, they do disengage without giving over more deaths. However, this is going to be a huge push for Samsung. I think they definitely get inside and get at least 1 inhibitor.
But great setup right there. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. For Meteos, what's he gonna do right there? He had very little time to make the decision. Oh! What a flash!
2 down now. Jensen, 60 seconds on the clock. Smoothie just gets autoed down by Ruler as they follow up with the damage. He's going to go ahead and drop the inhibitor as well. Top lane was being pushed by Ambition, but he joins his team now inside the base. 10+ minutes from game 1. Samsung Galaxy looking to make that repeat, and they take down Sneaky before they look once again at the Nexus. 11-4 in game 2. The final shots from Ruler to take down the Nexus, and Samsung are up now 2-0.
Samsung looks so impressive, and they're already making this case, threatening the other team, saying we want to go very deep here at Worlds. They want to go all the way to the end.
Yeah, the way they can take a small opportunity and just punish super hard is impressive. There are still holes in the early game though, and if C9 has learned one thing from this game is that they can keep it even until 18-20 minutes into the game, and if they keep that vision swept and they don't allow CuVee to teleport in, there is at least hope. Because they had the compositional advantage in certain setups. They had the early dragons, the push, the poke, it was all there. But you gotta be so consistent.
The flip side of it seems terrifying. One fight, and what Samsung can cascade off of that has been incredible, because everything else has been set up with their even.
And that's also the nature of these compositions. When you play kind of shotgun versus poke, if you let it fire once, it's over. You get a lot of shots. Behind. But if you get a Kennen in the back line, and that was beautiful flank. It was Kennen from the back, Orianna from the right side, all the other members from the left side.
Everything piled on.
Double pincer.
You have to have patience when fighting Samsung, because they are definitely not going to take a very risky move early on in the game. They're much more comfortable playing the defensive game, looking for the counter punches.
And you could see why, because they only need 1 or 2 opportunities to take it home. We can praise C9 for how close they kept it, but that's only because Samsung is such a strong opponent here, and they're making definitely a case for running it all the way into the finals here. Such clean gameplay in the mid game.
Well, we'll have to see what happens in Game 3 now for a look at how Samsung Galaxy pushed their way to match point. Let's send it over to Dash and the desk.